Make sure this new cell phone here is set up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lakeway. Come grip with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Elgato Azul and Carolina Real Streamers. For the viewers in attendance and Facebook and YouTube users around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Elgato Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time! What's up, slime lovers? I'm your host, Chris, a.k.a. Elgato Azul. My partner in slime, Mr. Jamie Dunn, Carolina Lakeweights.
What's up? What's up?
We don't really have a topic for tonight. We're just going to do shoot from the hip.
That's right.
Q&A, talk about whatever we want. Jamie, how are you doing, buddy?
Man. Well, doing good tonight, man. We finally got a little bit of rain. Hopefully this weekend. Yeah, we haven't seen none in a right good while, man. And I said, well, this weekend I'm gonna try to do a little bit of fishing and doing good.
Got up to 67 or 76. No, 77.
Nice, man. Nice. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know last time I went, it was 74. The water temp was, and then we had a little cool front. It come down just a little bit. I don't know what it is now. It's probably back around 74, 75 now.
So B says you guys suck. I don't know who that is, but
we appreciate.
Juan Tienda says, let's get it, slime family. Dustin Clark says, let's go. Tubman Tackle says, what's up, fellas? And Trent Hall says, let's go. So,
man,
we fished this weekend. Did you get to fish?
No, I didn't get to fish this past weekend, man. We were busy trying to take care of some other stuff around here, trying to do some yard work, get things cleaned up, and now we finally got it finished.
Tell about Jamie, you fish in the Tillery tournament Saturday.
No, man. Won't be able to fish it this weekend, brother. I wish I could.
Ted Ellenbecker says, good evening, gents. Welcome in, Ted. Matt Mosley says, what's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
Well, the water temp's up. I know that. I fished Saturday. I marked not a whole lot of big fish. The ones I did mark looked like they were paired up, sitting at the bottom of trees. I think they're ready to do their thing. So it's supposed to be 86 all week. Party's probably over by the time I can get back out there. Now, there are usually a few late spawners, so get lucky. Trying to get on them alligator gar this weekend, but none of my buddies are willing to fish. So,
didn't y'all catch a little small gar there, Chris?
We did. It was a short nose. We were up amongst them gar.
Nice, man.
Yeah, when you're anchor fishing, but
yeah, I took all day yesterday and relined every rod I had. Boy, that took all day long, man. So I got new line, new rigs on every rod. Got some new rigs going to be trying out this weekend. Can't wait to try them out. So we're going to put them to work.
Matt says, yeah, it's almost 70 on Texoma. I went up by the red, and there was an island of trees and trash coming into the lake. It was crazy. Well, if it's only 70, I know where I'm fishing Saturday. And it ain't going to be east. So I might run up there and see if I can hook into something massive. Might be a little flatty Saturday, says Trent. Finally got some running water down here. Yeah, we got about an inch this morning. That last storm, the lake I fished barely got any.
Mm.
Everything was west of that lake. So, Greg Mays, what's up, buddy? Ed Jenkins, welcome in, bro. Ed's been on them. Been up on the James, catching them one-eyed fish.
Heck
We got
yeah.
us one-eyed Willie too.
I saw that, man. Jackson was holding one up there.
Yeah, Jack got him a one-eyed Willie. We caught a bunch of those one-eyed fish this year, boy.
Ain't that wild, man? How many of them out there?
CPR. I mean, somebody turned that fish loose when it was 10 pounds or less.
Yep.
There's Jack Dog's big Mr. Big Lips fish he caught.
Nice, man. Love seeing that, man, when he holds up some fish.
Fish. We had to really work for them, though. They were in, I would say, about 2,000, 3,000 square foot pods. So a pod about the size of a house. You had to go, I mean, and there was fish kind of scattered around, but they were just in little roaming pods pretty shallow, flooded stick ups and timber where they should be right now.
Yeah.
You know?
That was pretty wild. I saw the picture, man, and I saw them little brushes and stuff. I said, man, that's pretty wild looking right there.
We went up into a foot, not, for those that have been on bay boats, a foot is pretty damn shallow. I was nervous because it was Easter Sunday. There was nobody else on the lake, and all my buddies were out doing family stuff. And I'm right when I went up in there, and it went from 3 feet to 1 foot. I thought, damn, who am I going to call if I get stuck up in this?
Man, but it looked like it paid off for you. Looked like
we caught probably 40 fish. Got 6 decent ones. One really good one.
Nice.
Lost 3 or 4 good ones lost a good one in the mud anchor, lost another one in the anchor rope, lost one in the prop. I didn't. My fishing partner lost another one in the net. It was all the way in the net, and the hook got in the net, and then it just was gone.
He was just making it interesting, man. He was just having fun.
We lost the first 4 fish were all good fish. We lost the first 4, and I thought, dang. Is it going to be one of these kind of days?
Oh, man.
We stayed after me. We got rained on. We got blessed with some good ones. We moved around a lot. Everywhere we stopped, we caught fish. But we had to really look hard for them.
Was it a lot, mostly in shallow water, Chris?
Shallowest we caught one was in 6 inches, and the deepest was about 6 feet.
Man, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
A little deeper, but there's nothing but danks out in 20 foot. I just had to look, just to see, because I was looking around timber, and I noticed when I would hit a big tree, there would be like 2 fish sitting at the base of it, and they were good sized fish. So I just figured water temp was about 73 and a half, 74. They were starting to pair up, man. They're ready to do their thing.
That's awesome, man. I know this coming month ought to be real good. This coming month, man, right before that starts. I'm looking Saturday.
It goes quick here. So we got 86 all week. I would imagine by the time, if I were to go fish that same area, water temp would be right around 80 by the weekend.
Yeah.
So they're going,
Man.
Water temp hits about 78. Seems like that's kind of the start, really the hard start of it. But they start moving there before.
That's it. And guys, while Chris takes a second there, y'all have any questions or any topics y'all like to hit on tonight, definitely hit us up in chat. I'm watching chat myself also. So if y'all have any questions or anything y'all would like to talk about, get with us and let us know tonight.
Mosley says, if you need bait, I got a trip on Friday. I need bait.
Man, isn't that nice?
Might as well run up there. If you get sand bass, I'd prefer sand bass over striper, but I'll take whatever I can get. So
That's always nice having friends out there, man, offering and helping out. Love it.
Trent says we are catching the releases from PK and Granbury, benefiting from rain elsewhere. No,
awesome.
You're not going in there. Ed says his trip was on the Tennessee River and the Nickajack. Okay. Rusty Duncan says, what's up? What's up, buddy?
Rusty?
Surgery's doing well. Quitman Curtis. Hey, Chris and Jamie. Welcome in, bro. I'll holler at you Friday. You going to be out Saturday? Rusty says, I got you a box of worms.
I tell you what, man, a box of worms catches a lot of bait. Holy cow. I'll be hitting a box of them worms come this weekend.
I got a rod for it. I got a couple of them.
Nice.
They feel pretty good. Knock over my bottle over there and be real upset.
Don't knock that thing over, man. That'll be a long night, Chris.
I'll be right back.
All right, buddy. But yeah, guys, like I said, man, we're gonna have a good time tonight. We're gonna talk whatever y'all want to talk about. Hit up on some subjects and stuff, and heck, let us know, man, for sure. Okay. Yeah, he'll see that when he definitely comes back in. There he is, right there. You see, Mosley's.
Right. Yeah, that'll work. I'm gonna head up into that muddy water. Looks like y'all got a good storm up there. So water temp 70. That's really prime pre-spawn. Water coming in. We got a rain hitting. Probably gonna hit up there again this week. So I think there's another storm that's supposed to roll through. Hopefully it smashes that area up there Thursday.
I know, man. I know I've got my first local tournament, May 3rd around here local. We're putting on a local tournament. And I definitely need to get back out there and shake up the bushes and see where these fish are. Sean, these boys have been hitting it every weekend and sending me pictures. It's got me ready to go.
Yeah, I've been wanting to garfish, but all my buddies, none of them will freaking commit. They've been telling me for a month, yeah, we'll go here, we'll go this, and then when I'm like, hey, I'll get the bait, I'll meet you there. They're I got a volleyball game, or I got, can't go this weekend. I got people in town. Hell, I need to figure out how to check the flow down there, because if it's got flow, I'm putting the war machine in. I don't care what people tell me.
There you go. You won't know unless you do it, brother.
Rusty says he's got me a good recipe for catfish from the bayou, bro. That money, dude.
I love it. Love it. Like I said, I smashed 600 pounds in 4 hours in less than a foot. Wow. Good deal.
Man.
Less than a foot of water.
And he's on fire. Is that today, Spivey? What was the water temp? That's the question. And what was the big fish? Texoma, I'm going for superfish up there. This the last hoorah, man. On Saturday, he said. Okay. Yeah, I think Sunday the water temp, by the time I left, it was about 75. I was on Levon. We smoked them, but it was they didn't get a whole lot of rain coming into that fishery.
Flathead Dottie up in the house. What's up, buddy? Welcome in.
Have someone else there with a 4x4 truck. That ramp is a beast when water is going down.
Was there a lot of mud on that landing or something, Chris, when that water goes down?
It comes in sideways. It's a river ramp, and it hits it at an angle sideways. But when it's really flowing, when you take the boat off, the freaking trailer gets washed over into the gully.
Man.
So you really, like Trent said, you need somebody else there that's capable, because it's freaking drop and go. Drop that son of a bitch and go. And then when you got somebody up there, it's put that damn trailer in and run it up on that sucker quick to get some weight on it. So.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them like that, man. I tell you, it makes it interesting, that's for sure. Especially if you ever try to do it by yourself.
Trent, I'm down, buddy. I'm down. I want to get down there. I'd be willing to give up the last catfish trophy trip of the year if I can go down there, because I'm ready to catch some 7-footers, buddy. Kelby Madrid says you dragging Texoma this weekend. I plan. That's the plan. When they said the water temp was 70 today or yesterday, and there's rain hitting the inlet, I know what's up there, boys. There's some 100-pounders swimming around.
Boy, wouldn't that be fun?
I don't care about flow this time of year. The big boys are there.
Oh, okay. It leaves a film slick. Okay, yeah, mud. Yep.
Well, up at Texoma, you got to have flow to pull them up to that area. Without the flow, they don't go there. They just kind of scatter out. They'll be fairly close to the inlet, but they scatter out, and it's a large area up there. As soon as you get rain, it's about you can focus in on about 3,000 acres, and fish are easy to find in 3,000 acres.
Leland said Aaron has the mud boat ready.
Hey, I forgot about Aaron. I had talked to Aaron. He's like, he's down. Aaron, let's go hit it this weekend. Slickest mud you ever seen. Well, I mean, 4-wheel drive, baby. That's the only thing that really makes me nervous, because the War Machine weighs 3 times as much as an aluminum boat. It's a freaking battleship, dude. Yanking it out of that mud, that right there is what worries me. Oh.
Yeah, that makes it interesting.
Jimmy Floyd says, "Can I go?" You can go, Jimmy. I just need to get the game plan together. I've been asking all over who wants to, trying to figure out a game plan, and nobody it's a weird time of year. Everybody's like, oh, I don't know. I can't, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of excuses. Jackson.
John Young from Minnesota. What's up, buddy?
Stay right here. Don't go in with my phone.
Man, I hope you catch one.
Jimmy, you're welcome to come. Whether I go to Texoma or alligator gar fishing on the Trinity, you're welcome. Juan says, got to have that 4x4. Billy Bever, appreciate you standing up for me, buddy. You're my brother. I never forget who stands with me. That's what true friends do. So thank you too, Jamie, for standing up for me.
Anytime, bro. That's what family does, man. Let's see here.
John Young, hi from Minnesota, fishing off Stillwater Bridge as we speak. John,
yeah, man, I hope he
catches
one,
buddy. Kelby Madrid, I got an aluminum boat and we can hit Texoma. Let's go. So my buddy who used to really be heavy into gar bow fishing, he's got some pins he sent me from when they used to really get on them good. Up in the Trinity. So, I mean, not the Trinity, up in the red. So I guess there's a bend up there past the deep hole that still holds a bunch of monsters.
Sounds to me like y'all got one set up, ready to go, Chris. Just figure out where you're going, man.
Spivey says, oh, I fish the flow, no doubt, but when they get ready to spawn, they head up to the mouths and creeks. Just got to find them. Well, they're ready to spawn. When I fished Saturday, the big fish were paired up. They had left the groups. Now, I caught good fish. We caught 6 over 20. With biggest one was about 45, but it was my buddy's been slaying them up there until then. Like,
man,
I mean, just slaying them, dude. All bigs too. But I went up there and it was mostly the pods that I marked. Like I said, we're in about a 2,000 to 3,000 square foot area, and in that pod, it was mostly eaters, but when I would mark them, I would see about 4 or 5 good fish in that group. But when I would leave those groups and go out into the scattered timber, I would see pairs, big fish paired up. So it's that time of year. They pair off and they start moving to where they're going to do their business. They start securing that prime real estate. So
I tell you, you got me. I think I'm going to hit shallow water this Saturday night, man. Go after some flatheads.
Kelby, I'm going to drag if I come to Texoma, I'm dragging the War Machine up there this weekend. It's going to be Saturday when I can fish. And I'm generally, when I'm up there, I'm targeting fish over 40. So we're not going to catch a whole lot, but the ones that we do catch are going to be big. So I'll holler at you, man. May have a boatload of us. It sounds like some guys want to jump on the War Machine for one last hoorah. Oh, man.
Yeah, summertime is definitely here. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's 87 to here today, 86, 87. That changes everything rapidly. It's supposed to be in the high 80s most of the week, mid to high 80s. Even the rain days, it's overcast, but still 84, 85 degrees. So
nice. That area where you were at this past weekend, Chris, is there a lot of flatheads up in that area and stuff?
I don't catch them, but I mean, it's solid timber. It's probably, I'd say, probably 5,000 acres of timber. I mean, you tell me. What do you think? You think there's some flatheads up in there?
I would love to fish it, man. I would love to fish
that
it.
that lake doesn't have very big in. There's not a lot of flow that comes into it with the inlets. It's mainly just creeks.
Yeah.
It's seasonal flow type stuff coming in there. So the thing is it's kind of like Tawakoni. The fish don't typically run up in the creeks in the river to spawn. They spawn out in that timber. So, you get some flow, they run up in there, but when the flow stops, they run back out into the timber. And, if there's nothing to like magnetize them to an area, you got to really like sharpshoot them. You got to go find them, set up on them, and fish this little group. And, until they decide they want to move or whatever. If you get rain, there's a general area that you can go fish, and they're roaming through there. You don't even have to move, really. You could just stay in the same spot, hammer them all day. But that wasn't the case this last trip. I did a lot of moving. I sharpshooted them, and Bess would call it battle catfishing, where you got to go throw up into the worst crap because everything was in it. Was up in it. Up in it.
I was sitting there and looking at the pictures. I'm like, oh man, I know there's a flathead in there, big as I am somewhere.
There's probably 100-pounder in there. I mean, most of our big timber lakes have giant flatheads. It's just they're very difficult to catch when they get big like that. They're not out on the roam feed very much. They sit in one spot. If you're going to get one, it'd probably be right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit tight Saturday night when I go. I'm basically gonna sit right up underneath the trees. I'm going to do a lot of suspending.
John Young says nothing like listening to the slime show while fishing and broadcasting it on a loudspeaker on top of the bridge.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Keeps on. We'll have a whole crowd up there with you, brother. They all gonna be coming around listening to the slime show.
Flatheads are tough to find unless you're William Oliver, and then he can just go freaking.
The biggest flathead
from Mosley just sent me a video. Holy smokes, dude. The whole island of debris up there where I want to fish.
Wow.
Damn, son. I hadn't seen it like that up there. Well, I'm going to have to show y'all because that would be rude. This is from my buddy Matt. He's up at the inlet at Texoma. That deal in the middle is not like a peninsula. That's an island of logs that it's been washed in there from that big rain. They had tornadoes and stuff up there. That area gets some epic storms, massive amounts of rain, rapidly hitting those that Red River Basin, huge amounts of water. That giant lake will come up massive amounts. It's crazy how much flow.
Dude, that's really crazy.
It's crazy how much flow they get.
Yeah.
I always say, God was really showing off when he made that area up there. The storms are incredible. The variety of wildlife and stuff up there is like something you see out of National Geographic. I love fishing up there.
Well, I tell you, that'll definitely make you respect it. That's for sure.
Tom Outdoors said biggest flathead from Levon was on a trot line at 106. Yeah, I bet you there's a 120 in there then.
Wow.
And I know that's close to world record size, but here's the deal: 106-pound flathead. If you catch him with a hook, he can to get him on a trot line like that's very surprising because they can just rip that little hook, rip it right out of the flesh if they wanted to. And generally, they don't come out of their structure when they're that big. They just sit there. So catching one with a rod and reel, getting it out of it, you could hook one, but getting it out of wherever it's been, that's the hard part.
Chris, that's all right. We got a 12-aught right there with a heck of an offset on it. That'll take care of them.
Oh, man. You would still need a perfect hook set.
Yeah. I promise you, we're going to put them bad boys to work this year on some flatheads.
Trinity's got flow, Bill. Trinity's got flow. I saw flow coming out of the East Fork. I know it's there. I think probably all forks got rain this past. I don't know about down. It doesn't have to have rained down there because the flow's coming from up here. So we got rain up here. I'm sure it's flowing. Trinity's a flood control deal. So all the lakes that are impounded on it, Levon, Ray Hubbard, Louisville, Grapevine, all the lakes feed into, their outflow feeds into that. So when they're metering that water down, it's going into the Trinity.
East Fork was still moving this afternoon, Tom said, Chris.
All right, there you have it, Bill. Uh-oh, these kids are getting going again.
Tom also says, seen a video from guys last year that claim to have a 111 pounder at 3 a.m. one night a few years ago.
Well, I can tell you 111's probably very difficult to weigh unless you got some type of.
I would really love to see that fish.
You ain't hanging it and getting a good weight on it.
No. I would really like to see that one.
I would too. Texas has a substantial amount of fish right around 100 pounds that are flatheads coming out of it. A bunch. It's probably the best flathead state. World record was here at one point. Now there's been bigger fish elsewhere, but we got a ton of big flatheads that come out of Texas.
Boy, Rebecca would go crazy. She'd be like a kid in a candy store.
They're out of lakes though. So
oh man.
you have to find them out of 5,000, 10,000 acres of timber because it's all, the best ones are in timber lakes.
Give me just a couple of weeks or a week and we'll find one or two. Good Lord willing.
State record's 114. It's not a rod and reel record though, right, Tom? I can guarantee you, without a doubt, there are bigger fish than that in Texas. That's what I thought as a trot line.
Wow.
Rod and reel's 96, 98. Well, there was a 98 or a 99 caught out of nose. Actually, there was several, but 98, there was a 101 caught out of Louisville on a rod and reel. Guy found out that the guy had snagged it. This was when I was a kid, when Louisville was full of giant flatheads. I'm sure there's still some good ones in there. It's got a lot of submerged timber. What's up, buddy?
Matthew Moses says, more rain the next 2 days. It's going to be rolling. If you can get around that island, fishing will be good.
You know I'm going to drag right next to that island, buddy. That's exactly where I'm going. I'm going to freaking skin the edge of that damn thing. I'm going to put baits right on the edge of that freaking island of timber. I've also got some baits, some new rigs that I haven't been able to test. It's going to be a perfect freaking scenario to test those, man. Got some brand new rigs that ain't nobody ever used before. It's going to be perfect for fishing that island of shallow debris.
That's a couple of those this weekend we're going to be putting to work here too, Chris. For sure.
I threw one out last weekend just in the shallows, but it really didn't. It wasn't doing what I needed it to do. So I got to be moving to run that rig. I'm going to be moving. If I'm next to that pile of timber, I'm going to haul ass through. I'm going to freaking just smoke the edge of that thing, man. Fast. I'll be going like a mile an hour. Like I'm going to make my bait look like it's trying to get the hell out of there, man.
I'm anxious to see because I can't wait to get it this weekend on the river in that current that we've got.
Mosley, me and Jackson hadn't got a giant this year. It's probably been one of our best years of fishing, but no giants. Lots of we got probably 40 in the 50-pound class, and then I think we got 4 over 60, but no giants. That's fishing, man. Those giants aren't easy to catch. Tom says, I'm ready when you are, Chris. You know I'm always ready, Tom. The War Machine stays ready. I think LaVaughn is just about at the end of the freaking big fish season from what I saw last weekend. Now, I don't know what temperature the rain that hit up there was. If it's cool rain, it'll prolong it. You know, it'll be another week or two. But Tom says he's got the Oklahoma license. Oh man. I'm heading up to the inlet. So I'm putting it out there. So Saturday does Mom make this?
John Young says, fishing wearing my purple CLW family slime show jersey. Heck yeah, brother. Nice, man. And speaking of that too, guys, the brand new ones are up also.
Kurt River Trail says, good evening, Chris and Jamie.
What's up, bro?
All right, Tom, holler at me. I'm going to head up there Saturday. I'm praying it doesn't rain Friday so my guide buddy can get me good bait. Yes. Do not go up there without good bait.
Cat's on the Rock Guide Service. Welcome in, buddy.
I don't see him. I don't know why some of this doesn't register on mine. Oh, yeah, there he is. What's up, buddy? I missed him.
Look here. I'm switching over. Let's see.
Yeah, holler at me, Tom. Yeah, I ain't even going to say it. I ain't using gizzard shad, buddy.
Oh, man.
Especially up at Texoma.
You using live eel, ain't you, Chris?
Tom, when I fished with vests, we had to use whatever the hell we could catch. So we found gizzard shad up underneath the bridge up by the East Fork. So I was nervous because, man, it took us a while to find them. We scanned around a good while before we found them. This time of year, I'm not real particular, other than I like to have something that'll stay on the damn hook.
Yeah.
I feel like right now that this time of year, I think catfish has probably the most diverse appetite feeding habit that they're going to have all year. They will eat damn near anything that's in front of their face right before they spawn. Trent Hall says Jello, chicken, Jamie. As long as you got some Kool-Aid, Trent.
Oh man, y'all know how it is.
Tom says busted his knee in those waves that day. No shad.
Man.
Well, you know, Levon's got tilapia, so why wouldn't tilapia work? You would think it's a good-sized fish. They feed pretty hard and probably make a lot of noise, so they're big catfish probably key in on them. I would think any lake with tilapia would be a great bait.
Yeah.
I don't like eating it because it's like nasty to me. It's stinky, but I mean, a catfish, that's probably, they like a stinky bait fish.
That's for sure. John Young said it was 39 degrees here today. Wow. Man, I would love bring me some of that weather, man. Jeez.
Realist Fishing says spawn every 6 weeks over 70 degrees. Our spawn typically starts kicking off about 78 degrees, and they'll spawn up to about 86, 87 degrees. They don't all like to do it at the same time, but from my experience, the biggest ones go first. They're all the best ones may already be up in their areas. So I feel like Texoma, it's usually 2 or 3 weeks behind. In my experience, when everything dies down here in North Texas or East Texas, I can still run back up to Texoma, and I got another 2 or 3, cracks at a giant. Tom says, drum, buffalo, carp too. Yep. I know guys that'll catch them on a little quarter size bait,
Yeah.
They're feeding up right now.
Trent said tilapia worked great back in the day at Fairfield on cats and reds.
That's a power plant lake. They stock it with redfish. Another fish I don't really care to eat.
Yeah.
They're fun to catch, though. For those that hadn't gotten on a bull red run, that's about the hardest pulling fish there is for their size.
So, Chris, have you started changing your rods and your rigs over already, or?
I have, but I got a whole set that's ready to go for Texoma. My dragging rods is still set up for catching monsters.
Yeah. Like I
My
said,
anchor rods are set up for using medium-sized baits.
Yeah, I went, like I said, redone every one of mine yesterday. It took from morning to afternoon to redo every one of them, and got all the rigs changed out, got some new rigs on there, so we're ready to go. Put a bunch
hit that Texoma inlet, I ain't going for little fish.
we threw a bunch of them 12 volts on yesterday. I threw probably 10 of these on the rigs yesterday. These 12 volts. So we upsizing.
Lewis Parker says, sorry I'm late. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, brother. Welcome in.
Great. John Young says, I'm using fresh cut sheephead and crawlers for bait now. Leland says a 46-inch red this past weekend was a hell of a fight in the surf. Yeah, it's a battle.
Tom, as soon as you break into that 50-pound club, brother, let us know. We'll get you a decal.
Tom, if you head up there to Texoma with me this weekend, if we're on the if the big fish haven't moved to their spawning grounds yet, which I don't think they should. I don't think they have up there. We should be able to do that. £50 fish is a great fish, but up there, it's at the bottom end of a great fish. You know what I mean? Like a lot of 40 to 65, 70 pounders up there. Not a lot. Don't get me wrong. There ain't a ton of them, but we catch them up there. This time of year is when we can get them pretty frequently. Yeah, Tom. Mosley said it was 70 there today. So 70 is perfecto. I always say that that temperature about 68 to 70 pre-spawn, man, that is the best time to catch a monster for us. John says, does a sturgeon count for the 70-pound club? Well, the decal says Catfish Club. So.
Yeah. Good try, though, brother. Good try. But I know you'll get you one here shortly, brother.
Tom says north end of Levant was 78 yesterday. Well, party's over, bro. Big fish party's over. It's going to get even warmer by the time we can fish there. So that's why when he said, "Hey, it's almost 7," it was almost 70 today on Texoma, and I said, "Man, that's where I'm going. One more shot, one more crack at a lake monster." Lewis says temps on Conroe is 75 now.
Yeah.
Is that the north end up shallow or just the main body? Because it seems like it should be a lot warmer down there up shallow. Tom said the 27 last night come off a tree. That's kind of what I saw, Tom. That the 40 that Jackson caught come off of a tree. So we caught most of our fish come out of the button brush, that flooded brush up there where I sent y'all a couple weeks ago. But it was just crammed full of eaters, man. There was there was big fish, but not a lot of them. Just a couple here. In each little group, I'd see 3 or 4 good fish. And we would catch 1 or 2 out of the group, and then it was time to move. So, but when I just started following that creek channel out to a little deeper water, I started looking at those giant bodark trees, and I would see, man, at the bottom of that bodark tree, there's 2 big ass fish. And then I'd go to the next one, there'd be 2 big ass fish. So I'd almost decided to give up, but I said, man, I'm just going to fish some of these big ass bodark trees right here by the channel. And that's what paid off for our biggest fish. So.
Nice.
Same last night at Pilot Lee Creek, which I think that's it. I believe that they're right where they're, like, the bigger ones are right where they plan on spawning. So they're probably wallowing out their holes right now. They're getting set up. They're enticing those females to come. It's game time. 64 on Robert Kerr. Well, shit, man. You still got a ways to go, buddy.
Yeah, I was about to say that's good water temp.
You're in prime pre-spawn temps. It was 78. Like Tom said, it was 78 today.
Lewis said big fish seem to be holding close to the structure.
That's their spawning habitat. They're securing their prime location right now, and they're saying, "Hey, look at me defending this. You big girls, come over here and pair up with me." And then they'll just kind of hang together till it's time to do their thing, which is really close. We kept fish Sunday, and they were spewing eggs. So,
oh, nice.
They were fully developed, ready to do their thing. I mean, those are the little ones. So the bigger ones generally go before the littler ones. Tom says drop some live bluegill on their ass.
Tom, that's what I'm gonna do Saturday night. Drop a lot of live bluegill on them.
Jesse Ogden says the flatheads are coming to life up there in Harrisburg. Can't wait for the weekend. Yeah, it's y'all's freaking go time up there. Those flatheads go nuts up there where you're at, Jesse. This pre-spawn, I mean, that's probably catch 80% of your fish right now for the year.
Yeah, those flatheads definitely ought to be on fire.
I figured since nobody wants to freaking go gator gar fishing with me Saturday, when I say with me, I mean take me. I'll bring the freaking primo bait. I need somebody to get on the river. They're not going to take me. I'm going to drag the war machine up to Texoma and go hit the inlet. I'm going to go fish that island of debris right there that Mosley just sent the video of, because that was crazy insane.
That was wild. Steve, what's up, brother?
Got in from fishing. Got in from fishing or catching, Steve?
Probably. He's probably catching.
He's got to lead in with that. Just got in from fishing.
He's warming it up, isn't he?
Because if it went bad, he probably wouldn't have said a damn thing. Getting ready for the Sea Arc tournament. So I guess you're jumping on somebody else's boat.
Man, I wish I could be there, brother. There's going to be tons of sea arcs there. I know that.
John Young says he wish he could use bluegill here, but in Minnesota we have rules here. It sucks.
Wow. What are y'all allowed to use up there, John?
There's all kinds of rules. Rules are made to break, John. I've been known to speed before. I just paid a ticket today for dog off leash. Fuck those guys. Yeah, my dog got out and they gave me a ticket for dog off leash.
That's the first time I've ever heard that, man. Oh my goodness.
He said, all I can say is if those fish stay there, the guys better watch out at Sea Arc. We smoked them.
There he goes. There it is. I was going to ask him what was the average size.
Gator gar. Yeah, Tom, I've hooked into some absolute giant alligator gar up there. When I call a giant gator gar, it's 7 foot plus, and I've hooked into 7-footers up there. I've not, unless you're fishing for them, you can't catch them catfishing because you crank down on them and the party's over. You got to let them run. But certain times of the year, I mark them pretty thick up there. It's usually right about now. But they also have regulations on fishing for them, which I don't know how they would could tell if you were fishing for a gator gar or a catfish. I mean, doesn't matter. Yeah, I got a treble hook on. I'm fishing for catfish. So what? But I'm down to fish for them. I know what's up there at that inlet after these big rains pre-spawn, and I think we probably should go catfishing.
That's it. Jonathan says everything is legal till you get caught. That's for sure, brother.
Yeah, you're not living unless you're breaking a few rules, boys.
You got to bend it every now and then. That's for sure.
I mean, how many freaking bluegill are there? Why should there even be I mean, that's about the dumbest law I've ever heard. But whatever. Some guys just, I get it. You don't want to break any rules, and that's fine. That's good. Just know there's other guys that don't care.
Which I would never break a rule myself. I mean, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Like I said, I do some speeding from time to time. I've broken. I can say this: I've broken a lot of rules in my day, and it ain't all just fit. And it's not just fishing rules. Broken a lot of rules.
Man, Steve says caught 188-pound bag in 3 hours and left them for the weekend. Man, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Sean, sounds like you got a pretty good lock-in on them.
I hope you. I hear Mom's yelling at Jackson. Oh shit, man! I probably need to go deal with that, or she's gonna be mad at me.
Steve hopefully didn't get fished out. Never know tournament day. That's for sure, brother. You never know, man. Never know. That's for sure. John, we have lots of dumb laws here. Land, yep. Full of it, man. Y'all know me. I'm not gonna break no rules, man. Shine. I've never even had a speeding ticket. I don't know what y'all talking about. I've always told them they just haven't been smart enough to catch me. But knock on wood, maybe they won't. 2 overs and 3 unders. Nice.
I will say I try to not break as many rules older I get. When I was a young man, if you told me there was a rule, I'd say, well, hell, let's go break that sucker. Oh, man.
That tournament's 5 fish, Steve? Wow.
2 overs and 3 unders. Tom says rules are meant to be broken, right? Yeah, that's what my son believes. When I tell him don't do it, it's turn your back, and don't cross this line, and he's putting his foot over that damn line as soon as you turn your back on him. My buddies are like, man, you're getting what you deserve. Oh man. Steve, I hope you beat up on him, man. I'm pulling for you, buddy. 2 overs, 3 unders.
I wish I could be at that one, man, but jeez. Yeah. Like I said the other day, I've kind of got away from doing a lot of tournament fishing. We are going to put our first one on here local May the 3rd. So we're going to have a little get-together, a little tournament here locally. But other than that, man, I've kind of stepped away from doing a lot of tournaments anymore.
Tom says life is about choices and consequences. And I will tell you, I was raised, my dad told me, as long as you don't get caught, you're not going to have a problem. So, be smart. If you're going to be doing wild ass shit, you best not be getting caught because you're going to be getting in a lot of trouble. So, kids, I was raised pretty wild. We just figured out shit, and we broke a lot of rules. You
Well,
live and learn. There is a right and a wrong, but what's right for what they tell you game law is don't mean it's wrong in a lot of people's minds. I mean, I look at like the bait laws. Yeah, legally they tell you can't use whatever bait, but hell, some of these baits, there's more of those than there are bait fish. So why is there a problem? I don't see a problem with it. And
Chris, I got a question, brother.
hold it against some guy who wants to use. I don't use crappie, but I don't have a problem with somebody who uses crappie. I use different bait, but hell, I don't care what you use. The only thing that I care about is if you're like hurting something that I care about, really. I mean, and that's it. So
that's it. Chris got a question. Super high flood waters, how to find fish?
Well, we had Creole on last week, and the week before we had Steve on, and they both said to get out of a little bit out of the current, get in a current break. When there's a ton of flow, a ton of debris coming down, find a little bit of, get out of it, just right next to it where it's running right, flowing right through there. But it's out of my wheelhouse. Jamie fishes that floodwater a lot, and he tells me he does great in it.
Yeah, we actually do some of our best fishing in floodwaters, and what I normally do is on the back side of these curves, I'll tuck real close out the main current, where there's just a little bit of current, and set up in it, and man, we just wax them on the backside. I go up into some flooded timber. We do real well into some of these creeks with all that water coming out. We'll go up in there pretty deep, and we do pretty well with them. So get out that main channel for sure. I wouldn't stick in there. Like I said, these fish are, almost like it tires them out trying to stay out there. They come closer to the bank on the backside of these curves, and man, they hold up there, man. It just lights up the screen when I look on some flooded waters. They just lit up like crazy on the screen on the backside of them. So
a lot of guys will tell me they'll hit a secondary creek that's running into it, and where they'll get a little where it's not quite as bad, just more of a trickle coming out of it, and they'll run up in there, and there'll be a bunch of fish that have left the main river channel and gone up into the secondary creek just to get out of it. I think this time of year they actually go up. A lot of them will run up in there to spawn.
Oh yeah, Chris. I've caught, like I said, they'll hit some of these creeks, man. We're here where there's a lot of lily pads and stuff, and man, you just throw right up on them lily pads, man, and they just loaded up on them. And there's a lot of bait fish that holds up around that area.
Josh McPherson says striped shad. Yeah, buddy. I'll be using striped shad up at Texoma, legally caught and legally used.
Man, speaking of Jeremy, what's up, Creole, bro? What's up, brother?
What's up, buddy? Jeremy was giving me crap about my Cajun accent, and I probably deserved it.
I know all that talk you was talking about the food, man. I can't wait to get down there and try some of that food, brother.
Oh, man. You ain't lying. That Cajun food's as good as it gets. No doubt. Trinity says his home lake's 34 feet above summer pool. So Friday night, going to suspend over the big log jams. We don't have current. They not turned any water loose.
Wow.
I know a lot of my friends that'll fish when there's major floods. They actually go up into the cow pastures, fish.
Yeah.
They'll fish the little drainage ditches that are normally cow pastures or fields where they're doing agriculture, and they'll fish the drainage, just the little ditches. They're flooded underwater, and they say they smash them up there. Big fish will run up into the pastures, and at 34 feet high, that's a whole different ball game.
Leland was asking Chris, what do flatheads do in the lake this time of year in relation to the blues? So what are they doing pretty much?
Man, they start running right around the mouths of the creeks, and when you get a big influx of flow, they make a big run. And most of them will run way up into the creek, way up into the river. They'll make a 15-mile run. They'll stay around the deeper holes, but they like to be in about 6 to 10 feet up in those creeks. Some of them will still spawn in the lake, but a big portion of them run up into the flow. When you get flow, they run. And some of them will run till they can't go any further. So if there's like a rock check where there's flood control that's been built into these creeks and rivers, and they can't go any further, right there, I mean, that's where you'll hammer them, they'll just sit right at the base where that water's coming over. The shadow court will congregate right there, and they'll go right there, and they'll generally spawn somewhere real close to that. So those are good spots. I'm not sure about your area, but that's pretty typical for Texas flathead fishing. They're catching them right now, running. A lot of them are running up into the creek, up into the rivers. Some of them will stay around the creek mouths. They don't all follow the same program, but they make big runs this time of year. Jeremy DeFore says, our rivers are high as a giraffe's ears right now. But look out when it drops. Creole said, what Cajun accent?
I was getting ready to say. Creole, you got to give him props for trying, don't you, brother?
Tom says Oklahoma has great bait laws. I agree. They got it figured out there for bait. They could just get rid of the juggers, man. They'd have something really. They'd be growing some giant fish up there.
He's the first person I've ever seen that said somewhere had good bait laws, man. Like here, we're not allowed to use bass. We're not allowed to use crappie. Up in North Carolina, they're allowed to use it, and we can't.
Oklahoma, you can use anything that's legally caught. Counts against your bag limit.
Nice.
Catch a striper, you can use it. And why shouldn't you be able to? So in Texas, I can catch a striper, and I can put it in my garden as fertilizer, but I can't cut it up and use it for bait. Tell me why is that? Why sand bass? I can take a sand bass, plug it into the ground, plant a tomato plant over it, but I'm not allowed to use it as for bait. What's the difference? I don't understand. Crazy. What's the difference? Why can I use it as fertilizer, but I can't use it as bait?
Makes no sense. Yeah, that. Let's switch over here.
Creole says, same theory applies when the water is going over the wing dams on the river. Fish will stack up in the void right at the base. Yeah, because They're powerful swimmers, but they're lazy, so they want to get out of it. They
Yeah.
want to get a break. And also those little areas, the bait, when a bait comes into that little disturbed area, it wants to get out of the current as well. And it's just an easy spot, not just to rest, but also to feed.
Jeremy also says laws is simple. Everything is fair game if caught using legal methods for that fish where he's from.
Yeah,
Louisiana.
Louisiana, they let you
Yeah.
freaking they don't have a whole lot of regulations when it comes to fishing, hunting, not nearly as much as a lot of other places. So, like alligator snapping turtles are protected in most places in the country. In Louisiana, they eat the hell out of them. They're like, my buddies. I had a guy that contacted me about 2 weeks ago. He's like, "What's your thoughts on alligator snapping turtles? I get premium money for those." I said,
Wow.
"Well, if you get caught here in Texas, they'll take your boat, your truck. I mean, is it really worth all that? Because they'll take. I mean, Operation Game Thief will take your crap if they catch you taking an endangered, because it's considered a threatened species here." So
Jeremy said they are nasty.
he said they're tasty.
Oh, tasty. Excuse me. I didn't say nasty. Tasty. Oh, man.
They are some stinky suckers, dude. I guess if you cook anything the right way, it's probably good. But man, anything that's nasty, stinks like that damn thing, I ain't eating it.
I don't know, man. Jeremy, I'm gonna have to see some of his recipes. I imagine he's whipping up some cool stuff.
Yeah, Tom said they'll put him under the penitentiary for it. Yeah, they don't mess around with the endangered species in Texas. They will frickin' throw the book at you. They'll take however you caught it. They'll take the vehicle you transported it in. They'll take the vehicle you caught it in. So that's your boat. Your truck that you pulled the boat there, they're going to take that. And they're going to give you a big fine. You might actually do jail time. I mean, probably not, but
You probably wish you would after they get done with you.
I told the guy, it ain't worth it, man. Don't do it. I said, I don't have a problem with it because, I do see a lot of them. I mean, they call them endangered, but I see them. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, wow, I saw an alligator snapping turtle. It's amazing. No, I mean, you see them. You can see them pretty frequently, actually. But they got them on the list, so I wouldn't recommend catching them here. And if you do, you damn sure better not be telling people that you caught one.
Wow. What's up, Alex? Welcome in, brother.
Tom said no Vaseline or spit on it either. Yeah, the Texas. So here's how hardcore Texas is. When I was probably 21 years old, my dad's accountant invited us on a big bird hunt out in Throckmorton and for dove, right? And he put out hybrid sunflower seeds. Okay, so he grew a plot, he watered the plot, the seeds didn't produce, so he just scattered freaking hybrid bird seed for like a month before we hunted. It was like probably 30 or 40 of us that hunted this, probably a 20-acre field, right? So everybody that's dove hunting knows how that works. So we all lined up around this dove field, and there was more dove in this field than you have ever seen, man. And so when the sun comes up, it's like freaking World War III out there, dude. We're about 50 yards apart, and man, the birds were just circling, dude. They were circling that field, and we all limited out in like 30 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. It was just freaking relentless. We smashed them. After we get everybody's got their limit of birds. We're all sitting up by the farmhouse in the trucks. Got all our birds, lined out on the tailgates, and we're taking pictures. Everybody's cracking a beer and talking about how great this is. And all of a sudden, freaking like gangbusters, dude. The game wardens come out of freaking woodworks. They crash down the freaking the fence, the gate, the ranch gate, and here they come, man. There's like 10 of them, 10 trucks up.
Wow.
They come in, guns drawn, because we all got guns. They act like we're the biggest criminals in the world, dude. And so the case in point, they fined us for every single bird that we shot as an illegal bird on a baited field. And we didn't, none of us even really knew. I mean, we were freaking clueless, but you can't put sunflower seeds down in a field because that's baiting in migratory birds. Well, they fined us. We all had 25 birds. Every bird got fined like $150 per bird. He got a $25,000 fine. They took the tractor that he plowed the field in. They took the truck that he bought the seed with. And here's the here's what they were really pissed about. There was a blue heron that he had down on this. There was a blue heron down that was dead. That was down by he had this trophy bass pond that he had put all these fish in, and they were Florida strain largemouth bass. And this blue heron was down there picking them out. And he said that 2 nights before, he'd said, somebody go down there and take care of that blue heron. And so somebody went down there and took care of the blue heron. And those guys had been on the ranch for a day secretly while we were all there. They were sneaking around that ranch, and they had seen that freaking blue heron dead over there at that pond that had been picking those bass out of there. And they said, we want to know how the blue heron, what happened with the blue heron. And everybody's like, well, huh? Like, the blue heron down at the pond. Who shot the blue heron? Because they're protected. And we're like, well, I don't know what the hell. Everybody's like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So, but they were going to throw the book and take whoever shot the blue heron to jail.
Wow.
Yes. But we ended up all getting, I don't know, it was $3,000 or $4,000 fine per hunter. They didn't take our guns, but they said we could take every one of you guys' guns. So here's the point. Don't fuck around with Texas game wardens, because, boy, they could rain on your parade, boys. The accountant said, I will never have another hunt again. Wow. That was an expensive hunt. But it was epic. It was the most epic bird hunt we'd ever been on. It was crazy how many birds that baited field drew in.
That is crazy.
Jeremy DeFore said we planted 3 acres of popcorn one year to dove hunt in. Can't shred it because it's a baited field. Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll shred part of it as driving lanes.
Yeah.
So that you can drive on it, and that's okay. But shredding it to hunt it is a no-no, because that's a baited field. You're supposed to have shredded it more than, I don't know, 30 days or something before opening day. So a lot of guys will shred it legally. They just do it before the time.
Yeah, stay away from the corn too with all them dove fields.
Yeah, we have a lot of sorghum grain fields, man. Great dove hunting fields. I don't get to go like I used to.
Man, I haven't been in a minute.
It used to be a yearly thing for us, but
Let's see.
must be mowed down no less than 2 weeks prior to hunt. I thought it was a month, but 2 weeks, there's still plenty of seed on the ground. He just went and bought hybrid 50-pound sacks of hybrid sunflower seeds and just scattered it with his seed spreader.
Damn.
Turns out his secretary is the one that turned him in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she had called, and it was the state game wardens. So I don't, for you guys have ever dealt with game wardens, there's local game wardens that game warden your county, and there's state game wardens that don't fuck around. And the state game wardens are the ones that came down. They were not nice. They are not nice dudes. They are like the Gestapo. They will destroy your ass.
Yeah, John, for duck hunting, man, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like gold for ducks, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, so he had gotten into the it's like a managed ranch program. So you plant certain grasses. You got to have a certain amount of water for the migratory birds, and then you got to plant certain species of grass, and then water plants that are like intermediate plants that just grow right at the water's edge that have seeds that these birds. So he had done all of that. They're like, man, you're trying to do all this right, and then you come bait the field. Like, whoops.
Jeremy, I know a lot of people that's also done that too, brother. Open the door, the thing on the combine, allow more. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a natural deal.
John Wayne said they know me by name around here. So, I got a cousin that's a Texas game warden. I've fished with game wardens. I've been on boats with probably 4 different game wardens. Game wardens break the rules too, guys.
I was about to say they'll break the rules more than any.
And most people say, man, I don't care what you use for bait. Now, so-and-so catches you, you're in big trouble. But most of them don't care if you're using a certain bait. Now, if you're illegally harvesting deer, I don't know any of them that won't frickin' bring the house down on your ass.
Yeah, for sure. That and turkeys.
Nuts for the dove, though, which I don't get because there's frickin' 200 of them in my backyard every night.
Turkeys, they're just as bad with turkeys too, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they do, says John Wayne. They know him by name. Watch out for John Wayne.
Myself and John, I bet you we end up knowing a lot of the same guys.
Tom, I rarely see him in the lake. When I see him in the lake, they're typically doing safety checks for drunks in the summer. In the winter, they're looking for hunters. It's people that are illegally shooting deer. I don't see them on the lake doing a whole lot of game checks. It's just not. When I do see them, when I used to see them, it would be up in the creeks, and they would be checking people on the bank, illegally keeping fish and not having a license.
Chris, do y'all have a rod limit on the bank in Texas? How many rods you can have from the bank?
You can have 100 hooks. Doesn't matter if it's a trot line, jugs. rod and reel. You can have 100 hooks.
Wow.
So they don't differentiate. Texas is one of those lakes that wants to try to keep the original, what they call traditional way of fishing. So trot lines, they're protecting those guys, and juggers, which is a traditional way of catching catfish, they protect those guys because that's the old way. Even though it's to me what I'm seeing, that those guys are the biggest violators when it comes to hurting the resource. They really can mess something up.
Oh yeah, John.
It's hard to say, okay, well, I'm going to break this rule, but these guys aren't allowed to break that rule. I get it. You can call me a hypocrite. I don't give a shit, man. There's certain rules I break and certain rules that I won't. To me, it's a code. I follow my own code. Might not jive with law. My code what I think is okay might not jive with the law. There's certain laws that I think need to be upheld, and certain ones that I don't give a crap about. I'm not going to be mad at Jamie for speeding. I'm sorry. I don't give a crap if he speeds, and same with some of these game laws. I don't care. Now, there are things that I think they should regulate, and they don't. So, and guys don't agree with my thought process on that either, and that's fine too. So, Tom says he found 4 unmarked, untagged lines this past weekend, and that's typical.
Mm-hmm.
The jugs that I find are typically out of date.
And Chris, that's just like
more of them are out of date than there are in date.
Around here, a lot of the bush hookers are supposed to have a tag with their stuff on, their information on it.
They don't want to put that on there in case they just don't want to check it.
Yeah.
If they want to leave it, then they won't get in trouble.
Yeah. The majority of them just has a black line with a hook on it, and that's it.
Tom said trot line's tied for snagging. Well, that ain't cool either. Snagging used to be legal here in Texas, and that's when a lot of these giant flatheads used to be caught. It's because there's trot lines, there's snag lines. So they rig a trot line, and one of my buddies' dads was world class at it. So they rig a trot line, and it's about 8 inches off the bottom, about like that. And the hooks are all pointed up like that. So as the flathead swims by, it hooks them right on up underneath on the top tooth pack, snags their ass, and you'd be surprised at how many he could catch, and they were generally really big.
Jeez.
Not cool, but back then I thought it was cool. It's like, wow, 90-pound flathead. That's insane. What are you going to do? Times change. The resources need to be protected. Giant fish need to be protected, and I don't give a crap what species it is. If it's a giant, it should be turned loose. I'm not a crappie fisherman, but when I catch a trophy crappie, I always turn it loose. It's just my nature. Even like a carp, when I'm like, damn, this is a record class carp, I'll just turn it loose.
That's it.
I just feel like something that's giant like that, special, should be respected. So now bass, another fish. If we catch a big bass dragging, it's typically going to be a 10-pounder plus. We don't catch a bunch of them, but when we catch a largemouth, it's typically a trophy.
I turn them loose, you know. Now, if I'm up at Texoma and I catch a little bass, I'm using it for bait. But if I were to catch a giant up there, I'm going to turn it loose. Not because I love bass. It's just I feel like big fish should be any type of creature that takes a long time or is special. Just turn them loose, man.
That's it.
Yep, if they were smart enough to live to get that big, you should get to keep living. I agree. I mean,
that's right.
Rob Shoemake says, hey, 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 hey.
What's up? And I saw Dan come in a while ago. Welcome in, Dan.
Welcome in, Danny boy.
John,
Jamie, are you getting to fish this weekend?
I'm definitely going to fish, man. I was getting ready to say, John, let me know how they do on the Walkamo. I'm thinking about going there maybe Saturday morning or tomorrow afternoon to stock up on some brim also.
Oh, well, that's some of y'all's favorite kind of fishing.
Man. Yes, sir.
Rebecca likes catching those brims about as much as she does catfish.
Mm-hmm. Try to stock up on some of them big brim to get some of them big flatheads Saturday night.
Leland says over 10, let it swim. And sometimes when I'm catfishing, I'll catch giant crappie. And my guide buddy's like, man, I'll send him a picture. I'm going to look at this freaking 3.5 pound crappie I caught. It's damn close to the lake record. He's like, he's like, tell me you didn't use that for bait. I'm like, man, I'll let it go. Man, I respect these fish. I mean, I'm not a crappie fisherman, but I get it. Not a whole lot get that big. I'd like, I'm going to turn it loose and hopefully a kid catches it, or maybe it produces some offspring that are that's a record for somebody,
That's it. And also, too, for a lot of ones, shoot me a message, guys. I got a new number. So if you've been trying to get in touch with me, shoot me a message through Facebook Messenger.
So Tom says he doesn't like to eat anything over 8. We don't keep him in anything over 8 either.
Yeah.
Tom.
That's the best tasting.
3 to 5 is prime, but if I will keep 8 under. Chris Garcia, caught any big fish or the bite over? Chris, we were talking about that earlier. So Texoma, it's 70 degrees. Today was 70. That's prime. Threadfin spawn usually at 70, 72. And then right after that, it's a rapid warm up, and the catfish spawn at 78-ish to 86-ish. So I would say Texoma is where you want to go. I fished Lavon last week. We caught 6 good fish. We caught 35 eaters, but the big fish had started to break away from the group and were starting to move to their spawning habitat. So they're within a week or so away from being done. I would not go to Lavon. I mean, you can still catch good fish. You're just not going it's going to start to get like increasingly more difficult with every day. Tom said it was 78 there today. He caught a 26 last night. And if you'd have been probably where Tom was a week ago, you'd have probably caught 10 over 20 there, same spot. So they're spreading out, moving to their spawning habitat. Texas fishing. Alex says, I always let big fish go. That's a good way to be.
Heck yeah.
I think respecting something that's special or, different or more difficult to get to that level, it's good to put those back. Jamie, where are you fishing this weekend?
I believe I think I'm gonna head up to probably the Big PD this weekend to fish that muddy water with a lot of structure.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all's
So,
water tip? What do you hadn't been?
well,
So you don't even
the
know.
last time I was on it, Chris, it was 74, and like I said, we got a tournament, a local tournament. John, also, if you're on here, May 3rd, we're gonna be doing a local tournament on here out of Bucksport, South Carolina. So, any of y'all local guys, man, come and hang out with us because we're going to go down and look around, like I said, for some of them fish this weekend to see if we can't get it ready for next weekend.
I hope y'all get on some good ones. I bet you do.
All right, brother, we're gonna take some of these big 10-ounce weights around that structure and we're gonna tear them up.
I hope so. Hope you get you a 75-pounder, man.
Man, if I get a 75, I promise you and everybody else around me will be the first to know.
Oh.
But
Dan
we
says, I
gonna
don't catch big fish, so I don't have that decision to make. Well, Danny boy, you need to jump on the war machine. Party's about over here in Texas, but you can still catch, you can still get lucky and catch one for probably all the way through about the first week in May. It's typically going to be a few late spawners. And if you go up to Texoma, it may be even a little later, mid-May, late May even. Some of these fish don't spawn until it's 85 degrees, so we're a ways away from that. What do you do in the summer? I still fish. I just downsize and I go for eaters, man. And when I catch a good one, which we had talked about, big fish season here in Texas typically starts in October. You can start catching them in July, but it's not something you can typically target. And when we catch them, when I say you can't catch them, you can catch them. If you go fish and you're in the right area, you'll catch one or two. You're just not going to catch 10 of them. So when I look at my catch rates for starting around July 4th, we'll start catching some good fish. And you'll want to be going early morning when the sun's coming up, or at nightfall, or at night. That's when your best opportunity to catch bigger fish. It's just you're not going to smash them. You're going to have to get lucky to get one or two. And when you get one, it's a victory, man, because most trips you may go 2-3 trips without getting a good fish.
John, the other day when I was down at Bucksport, we limited out in Brim probably within an hour and a half to 2 hours, brother. They hitting real good down there. The shell cracker are really starting to bed up. A lot of the stuff's starting to get on the beds in that area, but we done very well with them.
So Chris says he didn't see that produce as many monsters as last year from people's photos. And Chris, here's why. I'll tell you exactly why. So October, because that's when I fished. I typically fish Texoma in October, and I generally do well. But this October, every weekend was a major front hitting. Every single weekend. All 4 weekends was a major front hitting. And which I will tell you, Texoma shuts off. When a front hits in October or March, the lake completely shuts off. So if you're fishing the front in October, you're lucky to catch fish. Now, we caught fish, but it was typically not a good bite. My buddies that fish in the middle of the week did well. But we fished. I'm a weekend angler. I got to fish when I can. And we fished a front all 4 weekends in October, major front hitting. And I mean major front, where we were on giant piles of fish and we couldn't get them to bite. It'd be a 5-fish day every freaking trip, and we'd get our big fish would be like a 25-pounder, which when I'm going up there, that sucks. I'm not to knock anybody, but that sucks. When I'm going up there, that's a terrible freaking day. And but it is what it is. I mean, when you're fishing that time of year, if you're fishing a front on a lake like that, you have to realize what you're dealing with. And that's what happened this last year. And so what happened up in March, same thing. Every weekend, major freaking cold front, which destroys the bite, which destroys the fish picks for a lot of us weekend type anglers. Now, my buddies that guide did well Wednesday, Thursday. Friday rolls around, the front hits. By the weekend, it's terrible fishing. So it was really bad weather in October and March for that lake. That's why you're not seeing all those giant fish. I mean, we caught some big fish up there. I think, like, I went one weekend. So I fished a 3-day run up there in March. I went with Alex Doty. I went with Rich Segura a couple times. And on the Doty trip, there was some rain about 3 days before we went, and we went up there and smoked them. I mean, we got some 40s, a 50, a 60. It's a great trip. But went back with Rich. The front hit the day me and Rich went. We just caught one fish 2 days in a row. We got one fish. It was about as close to a skunk as you can get, man. That's weekend fishing. Some years, the weekend angler looks really bad, and it's typically weather related. That's what I've found. Certain years, if you're stuck on fishing the weekend, you might look like a completely terrible angler. When on those types of years, when I see these fronts hitting, after about 2 weekends in a row of it, I'm going to take a day off in the middle of the week when the conditions are good so I can get redemption and show that I actually can catch fish. It's just the weather. Yeah, weather changed a lot. It was a strange year for fishing. We talked about it a lot on the show, how freaking bad the conditions were for fishing for us weekend guys.
Yeah, and Josh, nighttime drifting is real good right now, all the way through summertime for sure. We do a lot of the nighttime drifting.
We'll start hitting the night bite as soon as the spawn's over. Well, typically, what I've been doing the last 3 years is I go gator gar fishing till, middle of June. So just need my buddies to come on with them boats.
Hint, y'all.
Come on with it. All you guys have been fishing with me. It's time to get them river boats out. Time to go catch some 7-footers. Chris, you're right. It's because the weather changed a lot. Yeah, wind has a lot to do. Now, big wind, I'm not as concerned with as a lot of the other guys. Jamie will tell you on the windiest freaking day of the year, I'm typically the only guy out there, and
yeah,
we do. It's really some epic fish. It can be really epic fishing on a big windy day. It takes a little. It's not easy to fish. Everything's harder to do in the big wind, but fishing can be great. It's not very safe, but Yeah, Chris, wind on Texoma is a different animal. Over 15's treacherous. Whereas most lakes, I can go up to 30, but over 20 on Texoma, it's time to say, oh, maybe we ought to go to some different areas of the lake. Chris says I can only fish weekends too, and shit, it sucks. And I would agree. I mean, you're when you're in a weekend angler, you're relegated to what the freaking Mother Nature throws your way. I mean,
And,
you can either
normally on weekends,
you can either certain. I've had certain years where it was damn near every weekend of front hits.
Yeah.
So you can actually look like a terrible. I mean, if that's all you get to fish, you might not have a very good year, a whole year. It might be one weekend that's decent. That's why I tell guys, save those freaking days off for on a good day when the weather's right in the middle of the week. If you're an angler, that could make the whole year for you getting to go fish about 5 good days on a bad. It seems like it happens about once every 4 or 5 years. For weekend anglers, it's really bad.
Reminds me of that picture, Chris, during the week, the water slick with the boat on it.
Yeah,
the weekend, the boat's out the water. The water's so rough. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's true. It's true.
John says,
unless you own your own business, like you said, Chris.
Mine doesn't like me taking more than one weekend off. I get that, John. Fishing is therapy. Keeps you from being an a-hole. Keeps you from being spun up too tight.
I thought I was going to be able to take off.
Am I freezing or are you? Jamie, you're froze. Anybody else? Am I froze or is Jamie froze? You hear me, Dunn?
I got you now, man. I lost service.
All right. I don't know what happened. John Young says this old lady tells him to go fishing every day. It's Jamie. Jamie's connection.
Yeah.
Well, anything else? What's up, Mike? Welcome in, buddy. Anything else?
I don't know what's going on with my connection.
We're going to do a giveaway tonight, but the stuff I wanted to give away, Jamie says he doesn't have in stock. So we'll do a couple. I'm going to do a couple of giveaways, but Jamie's got to have it before I can send it to you guys. So going to give away a couple.
While we're talking about, y'all guys seen me last weekend wear the new shirts. Guys, here they are. Out of 42 of them, we only got 17 left. So
dang,
grab them, guys, while you can. So yeah, they're going fast. But I just want to say appreciate everybody, man, supporting us here at Carolina Lake Wakes, like always, and let's hopefully catch some big fish this weekend. And I hope everybody gets and go out and go do some fishing.
Man, I want to get you to make one of these slime show shirts.
All right. Yeah, this is one of the new with the hoodie style. It has the hood on the back. This DTF style shirt that we've got out there. We got just a few of these left in black and gray also. So
that on a shirt.
Oh yeah, I like that.
For all you guys that freaking don't mind speeding.
And like I said, too, guys, if y'all been trying to get in touch with me, I've got a brand new number. Shoot me a message on Carolina Lake Waits Messenger. I'll get you my number. Everything's been changed on the website with the new number stuff. So let me know.
Is commenting shut off? No, commenting is not shut off, Kelby. Just climbed out of the boat, had some upgrades to get done before the weekend event, said Mike Mitchell. Mike says he wants to do some team logos for bait towels, buddy boy.
Get with us, brother. Shoot us a message on the Carolina Lake Waits Facebook Messenger, and we'll get you taken care of.
Chris Garcia says, how you like the planer boards, Tom? What planer boards? Planer boards are you talking about, Garcia? They better be Parks. John Wayne said he'll shoot you a message, Jamie.
All right, brother. That sounds good. I know probably 100 people between yesterday and today said they've been trying to get in touch with us.
My boy, Kevin Parks.
Yes, sir.
I hadn't been planer boarding a whole lot. I've been anchoring, but I'm going to drag the hell out of those planer boards come Saturday, boys. Chris got Parks now. Yeah, he switched over from those junkers. We won't mention the name. Tom only used them once. Well, it's not really planer board season here in Texas unless you're up at Texoma, then you can still drag. Tom bought his alphas. Sucker. Oh man, sorry. I've had truth serum get me in trouble.
And right there, guys, if you're anchor fishing, we got the river weights right here for you. If you're anchor fishing, you're going to get a lot more back with these nice river weights from 5 ounce up
Jamie's
to 10
got a
ounce.
new phone, so you're going to have to send him a new message. He don't have that phone anymore, bud. That's probably why he hadn't messaged you back. Mike Mitchell says he sent you a message about a week ago, Jamie.
Yeah, I haven't had one, brother. Just shoot me a message, man. And I will say, guys, right now, we are not able to make your logos. We can put them on the bait towels, but if you do have your own logos or your PDF and all that,
I think he's got that.
okay, good deal. Because she's so far behind, she's unable right now to create logos for people. But we can knock whatever you need out.
Tom says he's been anchoring since he got the boat. Yeah, I hate to dust those anchors off, but I'll do it because you got to if you want to stay on them. It was on the Carolina Facebook page, he said.
Okay, I'll have to look. I haven't got one, brother. Been checking it every day. I'll look.
What's your take on the reek with the guide and the bass boat?
He's talking about where they had a professional bass tournament and the bass boat ran over. I believe they were a striper guide's boat. 3 was killed. Is that right, Alex? That one is what you're talking about?
Wreck.
If that's the one you're talking about, man, it's an unfortunate accident. I know accidents do happen. I know these bass boats, man, as fast as they're running now, I might take some slack for this, but I honestly think maybe we could look to start slowing these bass boats down a little bit.
I saw their blast off. It was out of control.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've been uh, on the receiving end of one of their blast offs on my home lake. It was ridiculous
yeah,
what they did to me as a catfisherman.
yeah. They
So, I mean, somebody had already complained before about, hey, something's about to happen. And then it happened. It's like a week before somebody had aired their grievance and
yeah.
then it happened. So, I mean,
It's a very unfortunate thing, man. But these guys, man, like Chris was saying, we've done a lot of tournaments with bass guys, a lot of their tournaments, and it has pretty well. I'm just gonna put it like this: it's been a shit show with catfishermen and bass guys getting into it all the time.
I don't like to be on the lake on a bass tournament day.
Yeah,
It's dangerous as hell.
yeah, it really is. There's no respect for, and I've seen tons and tons of videos to back up, what a lot of people saying that these bass boats, man, need to slow them down.
Yeah, and they beeline it too. They don't take. They take the path of least resistance. I mean, it's if you're here, they're gonna go right here.
Yeah,
They don't want to have to skip to go out this way to go right. They will go right next to you, and it might be 5 of them that do it.
Chris, I've literally ran my planer boards closer to the boat on some of these tournaments, man, and they still run through your daggone planer boards.
Yeah.
No matter how much you try to not have them out as far, they'll run through them anyway and don't care.
Yeah, their defense. You know what their defense is? Because I've seen some of them defend. I got all this money on the line. Well, hell,
Yeah.
I got my life and my son's life on the line. You're doing some dumbass shit.
That's it. That's it, man. It's not worth it. And I hate seeing reports like this. And God, I wish another one never happens again, man. But something's got to be done sooner or later.
I would agree.
And that's like, the
Hey, my boat goes 42. It's plenty fast enough. And guys like, man, I get there fast. I'm like, you still ain't out fishing me. I don't care how fast you get there. You're still not going.
That's it.
It still don't help you.
That's it. That's it, man. But
David Cochran says, "What's up, guys? Saying hi from Iowa. Welcome in, buddy.
what's up, buddy?
No reason to run fog that fast. Realist fishing.
Chris, I have fished some tournaments in the fog, man. And I'm gonna tell you, that's an eerie feeling to be sitting there pulling boards and you could hear boats just passing by and just wondering when that one boat's gonna come up behind on your line and run right over you, man. It's dangerous, brother.
Lee Loy said he got split 50 foot on each side at the blast off a couple weeks ago and scared the crap out of his clients.
Wow.
Dan says a 600 horsepower bass boat. Why? Because you can,
Brother,
Dan.
Yeah. If they're not already doing it, they'll be putting 400s on the back of these bass boats shortly if they're not already doing them.
I'm 50, but I ain't scared to put an ass whooping on somebody. You know me, Jamie.
Hey, you put my family at harm's, man.
I'm gonna put the beat down on one of you dumbasses. You can bet on that. I ain't no little dude.
Oh boy. And that's the one heck of a way to saying it, brother, but it's true.
It's anybody that knows me know that ain't no lie.
And that's tonight's topic.
Yeah. When it's foggy, just go. Just creep.
Yeah.
Creep. John Wayne said, "Yes, sir," on the beatdown, baby.
That's right, brother.
Yeah, Mike. I won't go into all that. I won't go into all that. He gets me going. Meet up at the ramp, says Mike. Hell, I'll board your boat. And it ain't going to be like freaking captain. It ain't going to be tarpon captain. It ain't going to be that. And there ain't going to be no video footage either because the video's.
It's going to be.
The phone's going in the lake. So are you. It's going to be a freaking bloodbath.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Tom, just take your time. Be safe. Don't put others at risk because you got to freaking go fishing. Like, damn, it's fishing,
Chris,
bro.
am I froze up?
You're a little froze, but you're all right. Yeah, now you're freezing a little more.
Oh, man.
David says he's got a musky rod with a 12-inch flashy lure and 4 big treble hooks that he keeps handy. I got a buddy that just keeps a 4-ounce with no hook, nothing. He just sling a 4-ounce at you, dumbass, and he's ready. It ain't.
I've seen that right there do something.
Sinker. He will send a coin sinker at you, freaking 100 miles an hour. Vest got a freaking train horn on his boat. He will light your ass up with a train horn. To me, I just lose all. I don't think straight. When something really chaps my hide, my freaking emotions take over. I won't sling a sinker, but I'll freaking sling some hammer fists at your ass. Worked good on those jet skis, says David Coffrin. Sinkers do wonders.
Yeah, them damn.
And my guy buddies all keep sinkers at hand. Texas Fishing says I do that with
Chris. I've lost chat on my.
We're rolling now, man.
Well, trying to find my chat. It's froze up over here. I don't. You see it?
Dan says Captain Thor of the War Machine. I let most things pass these days, Dan, unless you really put my son in danger, and then I will become that dad that is, after it's all over. I'm like, I have to apologize to my son because I'm like, I'm sorry you had to see that, but this dude's about to get the shit beat out of him, and I'm old school, man. I ain't afraid to hand somebody a serious beatdown. These guys these days think there is no repercussions for putting people in harm's way. Oh, I'm gonna video you and all that. I'll take the video. I'm gonna take that video camera from you, buddy. You ain't gonna have no video footage. He's referring to the hammer fist. Oh, man. Let the tornado loose on him.
That's what I'm talking about. He'll come off the top up there.
All right, boys. Well, been a fun night. I don't know what the hell we talked about, but
It's been fun.
it says the hands of experience. I wish I I reminisce about the old days, and I don't want to just lead off with just go straight to violence, but sometimes I'd be the first to admit it. There sometimes people need to be put in their place for doing some dumbass shit. I believe that if things were like when I was a young man, there would be a lot less of these problems these days, with disrespect, with not worrying about other people's safety and all that. It's just a me mentality now, because there is no real repercussions for these guys' actions. It's a big slap on the wrist, and you shouldn't be doing that, Johnny. So it is what it is. Times are changing. We're in a weird state of society, boys. I don't know what we're going to do about it, but yep, morals and respect need to be reestablished, says Mike. I agree. I don't know that I don't think we'll get back to it, Mike. I mean, I don't want to be a pessimist, but it just seems like that's the state of things where they're going.
Yeah. It ain't like the old days.
It ain't like the old days. And I don't know. I mean, looking back, we did a lot of stuff wrong, but I think we did a lot of things right.
Yeah.
Self-policing and all that, which is now you can't self-police because you'll be the one in trouble. And there is no real police out there to do the policing. So it's just a free-for-all for people that don't have respect for their common man. Guys, we're going to end it on that. We're going to end it on that.
Oh, man. Y'all know us, guys. We don't hold back. We speak the truth and only the truth.
We keep it real, even if it may not be the most popular point of view, or I don't know what the right terminology would be, but we're going to keep it real. And Jamie, I had a fun night tonight.
I had a blast, man. I've had a blast, brother. It's been real, and guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed it as much as I have.
Y'all be good. Common sense.
Later, y'all.
Tight lines. God bless. Azul out.
Later, everybody.